question becomes, how do you handle this new reality and look out for the best interests of Black representation in Texas?
Ultimately, people want somebody that can stand up to this pathetic president that we have in D.C. Because he thinks we're not going to stand up to him. He thinks we're just going to sit back and take what he's given to us. I absolutely say absolutely not to that. That's why we're organizing. That's why we're having nightly town halls so people can come in and ask me questions, because transparency is key.
I am working on policy that will be impactful for everyone, regardless of your race, your background, or even where you live.
The best way to make sure that you're serving the current CD18 and potentially the new CD18 is to do the work. And that's what I've been doing for the past 4 years.
If you're not at the table, you are what's on the menu. And because we have spent so much time without our voting member, without our voice, without our vote, without our federal advocate for funding during the middle of hurricane season, we have now seen ourselves be placed on the chopping block with this redistricting.
This is democracy against a dictator. That is what we must do. And so we have a plan right now to put boots on the ground in those districts, in those seats, create a command center where every week we have mobilization plans and one message: democracy versus dictatorship. That's the plan.
Send me to Congress, these are the exact issues I'm going to fight for to make sure that every single kid in our community is properly educated and is prepared for the economy of the future.
I started the task force for technology and innovation in our city that has led to the creation of the innovation district anchored by the ION. I also happened to work on making sure that Houston went from $260 million in venture capital investment to over $2 billion in less than 5 years.
So we're building our educational system, making people, and no matter where you stay at, no matter what your tax promise provide, you will get the same education. Furthermore, it costs a little over $800 billion, equal to that of the defense fund. So for every dollar that is going towards weapons of mass destruction, a percentage of that will go towards weapons of our future. And that's how we pay for and raise a single tax dollar on our constituents.
For one, I support the idea of targeted tax incentives to create a district here. I support the $1.2 billion that we got from the federal government to turn that to a hydrogen hub right here in this city.
I'm a proud graduate of the HBCU, Summit College, and this is home to Texas Southern University. I am going to make sure we are protecting and supporting our HBCUs because we have a lot of students, Black, brown, and everything in between, that are able to receive an amazing education from HBCUs. I also happen to work for one of the largest industries in this state and in this city, and while we are going through the transition for our energy industry, we need to make sure that we are training students so that they can be prepared for the next generation of jobs.
We've seen the governor gut our public school system in the state of Texas. Our teachers are being asked to hold 4 and 5 jobs while being paid minimum wages. I believe that our schools should be palaces and our teachers should be paid 6 figures like the professionals that they are. When I'm in Congress, I'm going to fight to make sure the federal government comes down to take care of our public schools and to ensure that we protect the Department of Education.
Where unprecedented attacks are being waged by our president, Donald Trump. We have got to be in this business of playing both offense and defense. I grew up playing sports, and you didn't get to sit on your hands when it was time to play defense. That was when it was time to get mobilized, that was time to get strong and stand up. And that's what this moment requires of us.
If we don't speak to the Republicans, Margaret, the real ones, the John McCain Republicans, we cannot do this alone. So we have to create messaging, and we have to get out there. And let me tell you this, we're going to take 22, we're going to take District 2, and 14 looking mighty structures right now as well. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it all together on the same board and the same message. We got this.
Mr. Martin. Well, first off, we've got to be a lot stronger against this failed president that we have. We've got folks running around acting like this guy is some type of albatross.
I want to make sure that we understand where we need to put these mental health services. It's not enough to just get the money. And I know this is someone that has procured almost $1 million of federal funding, millions of dollars of federal funding for this city. You have to have oversight. You have to continue making sure that the funds get to where they need to be. And that is what I promise to do. I will make sure that that is what happens here.
Christian.
Well, there's 2 different areas. One is to protect our veterans. I come from a long, long line of veterans, of people who served in the United States Armed Forces. Well, my father served 28 years and 11 months. And what they'll tell you is that when folks are active duty, everybody treats them like they're a patriot and hero. But the moment that they leave the service, our government forgets about it.
We got to get serious about the mental health crisis that we have in our country. And one of the things that is critically important is to make sure that we are funding those efforts in by way of grants, but also by way of our policy, making making sure our policies actually work.
What is your plan to curb so many guns on the street?
When I was growing up, my family had gun violence in it, which resulted in my cousin's murder. It is critically important that we begin to really embark upon common sense gun policies.
We saw the Santa Fe shooting. We saw what just happened in Minnesota. My own brother had to be forced into lockdown when he was in high school over a perceived active shooter situation. This is not normal, and we should not act like it is.
We should not have any place in America where children are susceptible to gun violence. Unfortunately, banning guns is not going to stop it because a lot of times it is a mental health crisis. We have to start addressing the mental health crisis in this country.
Just the other day, we saw yet another mass shooting in our country. And when I get up in the morning, I go take my 2 young sons to school and drop them off. I think about what would I do? What would happen if there was a shooting at their school? No parent throughout our community should have to think through those types of issues. And the reason we're in place today is because the Republican Party has tried to ensure that everybody in the community can get guns, and any type of gun that they want, even weapons of destruction that bring harm to mass amounts of people.
When you got a president that's really trying to take over and become a dictator. What happened when all the plans and the ideas that we're saying that we're going to do, you just don't have the ability? What do you have left? What do you experience this year? It's time for a leader that can look beyond politics, that can look into the community, that can mobilize and reach across in the private sector as well as the funding to get everybody together. Remember that when real change happened in the past, it happened by Martin Luther King, Brother Malcolm. It didn't happen from really within. But taking the civil rights movement into the body and fighting when the gates are locked is what we need right now. And I guarantee to be the champion of the people for that. Thank you.
Hey, I'm running for Congress in the 18th Congressional District because I am passionate about our communities. I love our communities, and every single day I go to Congress, I'll be a fighter for you. As a Harris County attorney, I have never stood idly by and watched our Constitution be trampled on. I have never let anybody take advantage of our communities. And I have fought back against Donald Trump in one, against Greg Abbott in one, against Ken Paxton in one, and that's the type of fire I'm going to bring to Washington, D.C. if you elect me to Congress. When you're looking right here, you're seeing a person who is dedicated to our communities. There's no puppet strings. There's nobody pulling anything behind the scenes. There is somebody who loves our communities, who is dedicated to it, and every single day I show up in Congress, I will fight for our communities. I'm not selling you promises I never made. I'm doing the work, and I will do the work when I go to Congress.
We are not in normal times. I think that's evident. We have a failed president doing everything he can to comfort us. And I think that you can look at the contrast on this stage when you saw the bipartisanship answer. These Republicans don't care about us. They don't want to work with us. They will do everything they can. These guys are literally trying to make sure there's never an election again. Trump just said that he wants to take 100 congressional seats, and we're over here talking about bipartisanship? We gotta get real. And we're going to get somebody that can be unapologetic. The people of the 18th Congressional District are looking for somebody that's willing to meet the moment. We need to fight back with everything that we have. It's exactly what I've done my entire life. It's exactly what people are seeing in this campaign. It's why we've raised more dollars in this order than any candidate on this stage, and averaging $19 a person. That's the kind of Democratic Party we want to build. One that fights for you instead of the few, and when you sit in Congress, we will beat the Republicans and strong America.
COVID, to my grandmother who has dementia, and my father who has cancer. And I learned very quickly how much our government fails us every single day. I used to ask myself why. Why are people suffering in the greatest country in the world? Why are people unable to find a job? Why are people unable to have assistance during a weather event? Why are people unable to get their medicine? Why are our seniors paying taxes on their Social Security? Then I looked at Donald Trump and realized Donald Trump does everything he says he wants to do. And I realized we need someone that is going to go to office and is going to tell everyone what it is that we are going to do, and then we need to do it. And for many years, I have done that in Washington, D.C., representing some of the largest companies in the world, and I did it because I was skilled at policymaking and politicking. And that is what I promise I will do. I will fight for you every single day in a way that is skillful, in a way that is analytical, in a way that actually gets things done. This is a time where we need to stop asking ourselves why, and we need to start making real results for real people.
As Democrats, we've got a math problem. We have got to bring people back to the democratic process so that we can now shift the course of this nation. When Harvey first struck, I remember people being shocked when I would step foot on their doorsteps and they'd say, "What are you doing here?" And what are you doing here in the aftermath of Harvey? And of course, I was there to help as their city council member. We have conditioned our communities to believe that the only time that we're going to stand foot on their doorstep is when we need a vote. And we've got to show our community and restore the confidence again that we can stand for them and stand up and show up when it's time to deliver results. Results when it comes to housing, results when it comes to healthcare, results when it comes to economic opportunity. And I have done those things while a city council member. I helped build our economic opportunity for our small businesses. While a city council member, I also helped create housing opportunity. It is time to put people over politics and deliver results.